Byron, in your book, Mental Health is a Lie, you said the biggest issue that the people are broken.
70% of your thoughts are emotional subconscious pattern. 30% is conscious thought. That's why I'm saying it's a lie. My name is Byron Hopkins. I'm a psychotherapist and a wellness and performance coach. We're tired, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. We're tired.
It's not that they don't love their significant other, but they struggle to be seen. They struggle to understand.
We are not modeled how to feel safe emotionally. And for me to be visible and for me to be vulnerable, I have to feel emotionally safe.
Hey, one more time. You said what?
Red flags feel like home.
Where's a mic?
That was, look.
My name is Ludmila Woodruff and I'm a high-performance relationship and intimacy strategist. If I was also trained to perform, how do I ever say, today was a hard day for me?
What's the solution, right? How do we shift that dynamic?
Most of us seek help when we are past the point of return. There's so much fun you can add in your life while also healing the heavy.
Because everyone thinks it's scary. It's not scary to heal.
It's uncomfortable. Do you want to be a hostage of
I'm
other
not gonna be a
people's
hostage.
inability to manage themselves?
What you're not healing, you are hiding. And when you're hiding it, you're helping it.
We are welcoming you to
The Blessed Code.
It's time for something that's just for us. It's time to unlock something new. I'm your host, Melvin Rodriguez, and you're tuned in to The Blessed Code. Ludmila Woodruff and Byron Hopkins, welcome both of you all to The Blessed Code, as today we will be God, the vulnerability of intimacy. My God.
I know.
Byron, in your book, Mental Health is a Lie, and you said the biggest issue that the people are broken.
Yes. And it's not because mental health is a lie, so to speak, but there's a missing piece. There's missing pieces to the puzzle. So we're taught that it's only mental health. Everything's in your mind, everything's in your brain. The body remembers first. So neuroscience shows, it's scientifically proven, that there's a 70-30 rule. 70% of our thoughts aren't thoughts. They're subconscious emotional patterns that we've already remembered.
Wait, 70-30 are not?
70% of your thoughts are emotional subconscious patterns. 30% is conscious thought. So if we're saying 70 is over here and 30 is over here, we're saying mental health is the only focus. That's why I'm saying it's a lie. There's a missing piece. If I need to focus on 70%, then what is this 70%? And that's why I made sure that my focus was emotional intelligence. So that 70%, if we're focusing on emotional subconscious patterns, then that means, wait a minute, it's not mental. Because if you think about something and you go, hey, I think I'm depressed. No, you feel depression. When's the last time someone came to you, whether it's a man or woman, and said, I have anxiety or I'm thinking anxious? You're feeling it first. So remember the last time you felt something. Was it in your chest? Was it in your arms? Was it in your body? Like your body remembers these subconscious patterns of emotions, whether it's from childhood or whether it's passed down. So you feel and remember. So it's not a lie. So no one attacked me. There's just, we've been taught that this is the only piece to the puzzle. And there's a 70% piece that we're missing. If you only have 30% of something, we have children, so that's an F. So I wrote the book to make sure that you don't fail. Let's get to an A. What you're not healing, you are hiding. And when you're hiding it, you're helping it. So stop helping the problem in the trauma and go ahead and heal. So you can be your most healed, highest self. Because what does that person even look like? That's the adventure that I want to take.
Yes, just expose yourself.
Oh,
Expose yourself.
there you go.
Wow. But when you go deeper with that, in terms of understanding the why, oftentimes we revert back to, call it childhood trauma, right? And so the things that we may have endured or experienced that many of us live with to this day, right? That taps into that 70%. And so what's interesting is that, how do we break that? Because that's like living in bondage. That's like a what do you call it? A ball and chain. It's just like I'm going, but the ball is pulling the chain back, and I'm reverting back to the thoughts that I had many years ago.
So that's a great question. How we fix it, because it's not necessarily broken. We have to unlearn things, unlearning from our childhood, unlearning the things that we were taught. Because, you know, my clients and the people that I'm around sometimes go, hey, this is just how it is. This is what we were told. We've always done it this way. Awesome. How's that working for your entire family? Has that worked out for you to know everyone's doing the same thing? Do you want different? Then you have to be different and unlearn these things. And as they're dragging you, you can stop and go, I don't need to run this. If our parents are running the trauma Olympics through our entire life and you're running the relay, they hand you the stick. Why are you taking it? You don't need it. I don't want to pass those things down to my daughter.
Correct.
You don't want to pass those things down to your lovely daughters in college right now. So you don't want to pass those things down. So you stop running the race. It's up to us to say, I'm not running this race because it doesn't work for us. We're tired physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. We're tired.
Wow.
So unlearning those things and then giving them names, saying, you know what? That's my father's anger. That's my mother's caution. Okay, now I know what to do, because a demon doesn't have power once you give its name out. I know your name and I know how to control you.
So you know what's so interesting about that, Ludmila, and I'll call it the struggle with emotional visibility, if you will. And I know you work with a lot of high achieving men and individuals in particular, and having conversations around their relationship. It's not that they don't love their significant other, but they struggle to be seen, they struggle to understand. And what would you attribute to that?
So many things, but first and foremost is, as we talk about our parents and trauma that is handed, down your generational family, we are not modeled. We are not modeled how to feel safe emotionally. And for me to be visible and for me to be vulnerable, I have to feel emotionally safe. So I have to...
That's deep now.
I have to be my own emotionally safe person, but I also have to trust that my partner is an emotionally safe person for me. So how can I be visible if I don't feel safe within myself and I don't trust that I will be received in the container of a relationship, because that was not modeled to me? And if I was also trained to perform, and my role as a man is to provide and perform and always know the answers and be a problem solver, how do I ever say, today was a hard day for me? And I also think what I've learned, I used to be a very reactive person. So, my mom taught me to never be disrespected. And she, as I said, she survived war as a child. So that makes sense.
Wow, yeah.
So I would have a very short fuse. So if I felt disrespected, I would fight you, lash out, and I would win. But I would not only win, I would make sure that there's nothing left out of you, correct?
Wow, and that really speaks to the subject matter. I can't be what I don't see. I can't be what wasn't modeled for me. And I guess when you think about so many adults, men, Black men, high profile men that have this struggle, this emotional visibility, and truly don't even understand who they are, their identity, and what God has truly called or put them on this earth to do. I guess the question I have for both of you guys is, what's the solution, right? How do we shift that dynamic?
Well, first of all, we need to admit that we have a challenge. That we do love our spouses and we want to have an impact in our families, in our communities, and we are just missing skills. We are missing embodiment. We are missing that part, right, in relationship wisdom and understanding and our own, emotional safety, I would call it. First, we need to admit there is a gap, right? But what does it take to admit that there is a gap when we were told that vulnerability is a weakness and I have to be a strong man? And I always say to my clients, your strength is in vulnerability.
You're so we have language right now. Listen, I'm going to tell you something.
Well, yes, and because we don't have language for our emotional self. We don't, right? So we have to admit and look ourselves in the mirror and say, I'm a fabulous human being, and there is a gap. I feel disconnected from my spouse, from my children, from myself. That's not a problem. I am not the problem. I'm being asked to elevate, to be more in alignment with myself and God, whatever your spiritual practice is. So I think that's the first step, to admit I'm not a problem. There is a gap. How can I learn? Like any other skill, if you want to be a good athlete, you have to learn. If you want to go, if you want to be a psychotherapist, you need to go to school and learn. right? So it's just, we are looking at the gaps and patterns of what can we own? And I always say radical self-responsibility.
Wow.
Rather, it's courageous. I say to men, this is courage. You are being brave and courageous because you sit here and you say, help me. Where men were taught
Not to ask.
not to ask for help, to never ask for help because it makes you weak. So I say, you are courageous and you are brave when you really reach out to someone and say, you know what? I'm incredible in what I do, but I really need support over here. Help me.
So, you know what's interesting, and I'll touch on in the African American community, Black men were not, taught
Emotional intelligence.
emotional intelligence
Safety.
and safety. And when you think about, intimacy, or call it beyond sex, if you will, and these psychological dynamics that men deal with, how do we decipher the two? How do we find ways to come back to where, because sometimes, I guess when men, they feel like they are, being intimate or what have you, it becomes, I don't know, a form of therapy, if you will, but it's almost like you're continuing to lie to yourself.
Yeah, and
if that makes sense.
And it's transactional a lot of times too. Going back to like what you're saying now in your first question, it's especially if you're a successful Black man in America, there's survivor's remorse.
Yeah.
I have to bring everybody with me. I can't be too bougie. I can't do too many things. I can't show off too much because I got to remember where I came from. I have to grab everybody else, and it's heavy. Everybody's on your back and it's heavy. So to kind of say what you were saying as well too. So if we all train to climb Mount Everest, we've trained for this, just like you were saying, it's modeled, we've trained for it. So all three of us know how to climb Mount Everest. Maybe your spouse doesn't. Maybe your friends, your family, your cousin doesn't. So you're dragging them up a mountain, which is already hard enough to climb. But then you're wondering why they're stopping midway. They didn't train for this. They're not built for this. Everybody can't go. And that doesn't mean that they're meaningless. That just means they haven't trained to climb this mountain. You can stay at the base. If you want training, I can show you how. But until you ask for the training, until you want the training, it's okay.
Well, look what you just said.
You're already surviving and nothing is changing and you are suffering. So how about while you are trying to survive, you build yourself up. And as you build yourself up, you create more opportunities, more money, more wealth, more relationships. And, I've been in survival too. We've both been in survival. Survival is not going anywhere until you decide you are done with it. So as you are in survival, already decide what is your next step and start even small.
You just said, if you want the training.
Yes.
And so the reality is that so many men don't take the initiative to have the want, the desire, right, to change. Like here's the water, and I'm bringing you, here it is.
Yeah.
But I can't drink this for you. Right.
Correct.
And so it's like that cycle continues. And then what happens is that seed is planted into their children and children's children. And that
it
cycle
repeats.
It's in the genetic code. It's scientifically proven. It's passed down. There are Holocaust survivors that their children still feel what their parents, their grandparents felt. So it is genetically passed down. So if you don't want to pass that down to somebody else, you want to hand that off, you have to cure yourself. You have to go in and say, even if it's uncomfortable, even if Melvin's got, he's got all the things that I want. What is stopping you from saying, hey bro, how did you get to where you are? When your clients come, how did you get to where you are?
Yeah.
That is the scariest thing, because that means that I need help and I don't have it. And I've been taught that I have it. I've been taught that I should have it. My 14-year-old daughter is asking her suitors what they're making. I was like, you guys are all poor. You're 14. You're all poor. None of you have money. Nobody has the bag.
Yeah.
You're poor. Even the money that we have, this is my money. You're poor. Yeah. So these are the things that you are being taught. And you're like, wait a minute. This 16-year-old, 14, 15-year-old boy already has all this pressure. So now it's like, where's the space?
The expectation.
Just like you're saying, there's an expectation. Where's the space? And especially for us, it's a hard space to say, what do I have? I've got to be 6'7". I got to do all these things. Look, everybody knows I got to do all these things. But where's the space for, just like you said, for me to say, it's been a tough day. I need a safe space to land. And if they don't have a safe space to land, kind of like the people that you are helping, the high achievers, they go, well, I'm going to go get a distraction, whether it's drugs, whether it's women, whether it's alcohol. There's a distraction that happens because you weren't taught or modeled anything other than what
But
you
see,
have.
this is what's interesting, because many can say, well, it's easier said than done, and you have no idea what I'm dealing with, the thoughts that I have, and so on and so forth. And I guess it's, how do we help them think about it different? Because we talk about the thought. That's how do we work to decrease that 70%? The Bible says, as a man thinketh, so is he in his heart.
Yeah.
Right? So the man is thinking these thoughts, and as he's thinking these thoughts, he begins to speak these thoughts, right? And what you speak becomes power. The Bible says, you speak life and death out your tongue. So you're speaking your life into existence.
Correct.
And so I guess it's how do we help decrease that 70%?
Love this. Well, there's so many layers here. Number one, I think all of us in this room can agree we all went through horrible things. I left my country at 19 to a country where I didn't speak language of, no help. At some point, there has to be a desire within the individual where you have a wake-up call and you finally realize, I can't keep going this way. This is too painful. And when you say men don't reach out for help, I have to say, all of us, I would say women as well, we wait until it's so painful that we can't ignore it. I wish it was different. I wish. But we can't convince people. I've learned that myself because I'm a helper, you're a helper. I think we all want to lift and elevate people. But what I've realized is I can guide you, but I cannot drag you.
That's right.
And if I drag you, you will still refuse. So there has to be a will and desire within the individual. What I see with people, fortunate and unfortunate, it has to get so bad. The pain has to be so painful that finally the change is more desirable than staying in the pain.
Sometimes it may be too late.
Sometimes, but that's okay. And that means maybe that was God's plan. Maybe you were supposed to get to the divorce. Maybe you were supposed to get the cancer. And I'm not saying it lightly, but I have clients where women hire me first and they tell their husbands, you need help. And I always say to women, do your own work. Notice if he follows. Notice if he, without telling him, you change yourself first. And some men follow. They see their wives change and they think, wow, now I desire of myself to be a better leader of my household, right? I can make all the money, but how do I lead my family? But some men, the only way they show up to the call with me is when the wife says, I'm not angry, I'm not spiteful, but I'm done if you don't do anything. When a woman becomes unbothered,
that's a dangerous spot.
That's a dangerous spot to be with.
When a woman's fed up.
Because you know what? Women, we are givers. Like you are givers too, but we are in different ways givers. And I think women are very patient. Sometimes we are too patient. And what happens is when a woman is done, there's not much left. And we understand it's easier on our own if you don't do this work. And I will not force you. But this is your choice. You're going to be this man or you're going to stay the man you are. And it's up to you. And I love you. I'm not even angry anymore. I'm literally done.
Indifference is scary.
That's indifference. That is scary.
Is the worst.
And that's where sometimes some men call me and I said, oh, where have you been, sir? Where, very gently with acceptance, say, what happened? Did are we at the end of the rope right now? And that's sometimes what it takes.
Break glass in case of emergency.
So what's interesting about that, because, and I'll speak on, call it, high achieving men and women that are married or what have you. But quite frankly, they could have similar things that will result to triggers.
Always.
Right? Similar things that relate to triggers. And I guess, and it's interesting because it's almost like, they said within marriage, you should be, equally yoked and in a line and what have you. And so, but when you think about triggers, it's like you may trigger something may trigger you, but you may respond to it differently, right? So the male may respond a certain way, you will. And it creates this clash, right?
But you know why? It happens?
Why it happens?
Because you attract a partner who will trigger all the parts of you that are unhealed.
It's a mirror. It's a mirror effect.
It's a mirror.
I like that.
It's a mirror.
Say that one more time.
Yes.
You said what?
Red flags feel like home.
Oh.
Okay.
Where's a mic? Can I drop a mic?
Look.
Yeah.
Can I drop a mic?
It's exactly, that's why. And I say people don't like to be triggered. I love to be triggered because I say every trigger is an invitation for healing and elevation. I think, we've all been victims of something but there is a decision that you can make. I'm not a victim anymore, and I take personal responsibility for my life, for myself, for my relationships, for my finances. And I also say, you know, there's this toxic message of nobody's coming to save you. I don't believe. There are always people in your life that want to support you and want to.
That is there for you.
Yes, there are people out there. There are good people that want to mentor, who want to like give you a hand. So take the hand, grab the hand. But first of all, own your story. Whatever the story is, you need to own it, and then you have to transform it. Yes, transform it.
Be able to transform it.
Yes.
Stay there for a second, because, and I teach people this, because elevation requires separation.
Yes.
You got to separate from those thoughts. You got to separate from your yesterday.
You have to figure out where they are in order to separate for them.
Exactly. So now it's the idea, we're trying to help you understand where you are so you can separate from your yesterday.
Yeah.
But also from blaming your partner and understanding that your partner is showing you a pattern.
And that's
all what it is.
It's saying really is a pattern, because it's a vibration.
Yeah.
You can't turn on a radio station and listen to jazz and hip hop at the same time, unless Kendrick Lamar. But it's like, what are you going to hear? Static.
Yes.
You're going to hear static. So it's whatever your frequency is bringing in. So if at the time, just like you're saying, your partner is, we both meet and we're at a 5, it's a mirror. But then if one partner goes to an 8 or a 9, and you're still at a 5, there's going to be a lot of space in the middle to where you go, wait a minute, what happened?
Yeah.
I elevated. My frequency went up. Would you like to join me? And that's when those husbands or wives, they come to me as well too and go, hey, so they're speaking from pain. I don't want to be this guy, but I literally wrote a chapter in my book about it. And it's a pain language. Yeah. So everyone talks about love language, and this is a pain language. So we don't necessarily hear the pain languages from people a lot of times. It's all about, I need my 5 love languages. Yeah, but there's also pain languages, because when you react, that's your pain language. You had an argument with somebody, that's a pain language. It's a pain point, because you have stepped on a mind. And when you step on that mind, boom, trauma explodes in someone's face. And you might not necessarily want to do it, but just like you said, this triggered me. Then that creates 2 people to say, are we safe enough to say, you triggered me? Are we safe enough to say, hey, this is where all the minefield is. Can we walk through this minefield together and maybe clip some of these wires and throw them in the back? You know, it's my Marine Corps brain coming up, but these are the triggers and the things that you need to know. What is your pain language? Not what your love language is, because anybody can love you. I need to know how you react when you're stressed, when money's not coming the way it's supposed to, when I say something that your father said, when my face turns like your mom did, when something happens that happened in your childhood. Let me know your pain language, and that's the way I know how to love you deeper. And then I could tap into your love languages after I figure out what has happened.
So you know something, I know you wrote this, that how childhood suppression, how it translates to emotional bondage and what have you, and how in your adulthood, how it fundamentally distracts you, it puts you, it destroys you, and all these things. That childhood suppression, how you live with it in your adulthood. And you just talked about pain, PAIN. Actually, I was just having a Bible study on this the other day as I was articulating the acronyms around pain. I call it, a purpose, or individual that's struggling with pain, and pain always involves necessity, pain. And you talked about the language, pain. And it's like, how do we help them change that language?
Unlearn. Literally unlearn and figure out what the language is. Learn the language first.
Yeah.
You learn the language of pain and you go, wait a minute, this is what I do when I'm angry.
And you learn about what you said earlier about having to admit.
Well, yes. And then also, I'm all for positivity, right? I want to see the good side of everything, but we need to stop with the toxic positivity of if you are grieving and I'm sitting there and it's too soon for me to say, you know what, but look at the bright side. That's not the time. We need to learn that.
Right now.
No. And I think that's the nuance of emotional intelligence. That's the nuance of, mastery. It's like we are all, nobody's perfect. Let's accept this. We will all fail. I will fail. I love my husband, married almost 15 years right now. We have 2 boys. We've lost parents, we moved around, we had job challenges, parenting challenges. You will encounter moments where you won't be perfect, you will be human. Now, can I love you through the humanness?
Yes.
if you are ready to do this with me and go deep, as you say, let's look at the pain. And I think when you say, let's learn the language of pain, people don't want to talk about pain. People just want to brush it off under the couch, under the carpet. Let's not talk about this. Let's pretend it's not here, but it lives within your subconsciousness and your body. And when we talked about love languages, when clients come to me, what is my love language? And I said, you can have the best love languages of buying gifts and, acts of service. But if you're an unsafe person for me, none of this will matter. The first love language is emotional safety. So learn the pain, the fear, the anger, the shame, the guilt. How does that represent within you? And when you are in that state, how do you relate to others?
Yes.
Are you reactive or do you shut down and avoid? When you learn those patterns within yourself, then you can ask, I'm going to be brave it's going to be uncomfortable.
Wow.
Like it will be nobody wants to do this work.
Wow.
You have to choose this work.
So let me ask you guys something around that with pain, and what I'll speak to what men struggle with in particular. Men struggle with and have no confidence and assurance to cry.
Yeah.
Right? Cry. And so to your point on pain and the pain that that many struggle with. So childhood suppression, whatever that was, and it's this wall. And it's almost like they don't have like the emotion. They can't let go and release. What attributes to that?
Being taught that you're not supposed to. Boys don't cry. They have a song back in the day, big girls don't cry. If the whole world is telling you that crying and emotion is weakness, I don't want to be weak. Even in a moment of weakness, which makes no sense. In a moment of weakness, it doesn't mean that you are a weak person. That means that something has happened that has weakened you and your body and your spirit and your brain and your emotions. Something has happened. You talked about being vulnerable earlier. Nobody likes that because I'm exposed. If you look at a crab walking on the beach, he has outgrown his shell. In order to get to the next one, he has to expose his entire body to get to the next level. We don't want to be exposed. So, and not to be vulnerable and not to be safe. It's like, you know what? The safest thing to do is what I've always done. Head down, keep moving, especially high achieving men. Go on to the next thing. You don't celebrate. You don't do these things. You just go on to the next movement. You go, wait a minute. Everything's hollow. Everything's empty. I don't even know what emotions are. What are emotions? It's just, let's keep it going.
Wow.
Money's my emotion. Getting in the bag is my emotion. Taking care of my family is my emotion. You can be the best provider in the world, but kind of like what you were saying.
A lot of my clients,
Wow.
Even though you're providing for me, you're not safe. And it's not a safe environment, and you're not a safe person, and not just for the men.
That's right. And it's interesting you said that. I was just watching Matt Barnes the other day talking about this, how he hasn't cried in 30 years.
Whoa.
In 30 years.
Backed up.
I feel sad.
I
call it emotionally constipated. We are emotionally constipated.
Exactly.
He needs a release.
He needs to release because.
I was like, wow, that is.
But it's. I always say when I think about being emotionally unavailable or just trying to protect yourself, because that's what it is. Just think if you are standing in front of your partner and you are standing like this. Because that's what I'm doing.
Right.
You are trying to get to my heart, but this is the blockage. This is the armor.
Right.
So you can be as nice as you want. You can be as gentle as you want.
Wow.
I can't receive any of this because look at this.
So what makes
I have
you
to
take
be
the arms
open.
out then?
Wow.
Well, what for me personally, because I lost my dad when I was 3. So my mom was very independent, strong woman, and she survived the war. She's 89 right now. I'm very proud of her. I love her. Wow. But my mom raised me for war. Right? She survived the war. Let's raise my child for war. Don't trust people. Don't tell people your business. You have to keep people at the distance. Correct.
Wow.
Because I was about to say that a lot of high achieving women are struggling with the same. All the women that come to me, they have the same challenge.
Wow.
Emotionally blocked. I'm protected. I have an armor. Or you want me to take this off? It means I have to trust you as a man. I couldn't trust my father. What do you mean? Right? So what you require of me, that's such a vulnerable state. As you say, if I expose myself, you can use me, you can abuse me, you can shame me, you can guilt me. It's scary.
Wow.
So that's where we have to grow this, emotional capacity, nervous system capacity to be with more stress by being vulnerable and finding people who are the safe space.
Wow.
And I think like all the work we are doing, we provide, I think we are for the first time for our clients, the safe space. And I think that is something that people forget. It's the process of our work, but it's also, you come to there's nothing you can say I will shame you for.
Wow.
All of you is accepted. When men come and say, I've been disconnected from my wife. I've been watching porn. I don't say, how dare you? I don't shame you. I say, let's explore. What do you find in porn that is missing here? What is the emptiness within you? And very often it's the 8-year-old boy who was left alone and nobody was checking on him.
And that's who's making the decisions.
Right.
And I was going to ask you a question in a minute. So, and that's phenomenal. Like a lot of people, a lot of my clients have high achieving clients as well, to where either they're not celebrating, and this is going to come from you, they're not celebrating, they don't know what to do. Because I tell them, I was like, okay, because 12-year-old you had no idea that you'd be here doing the podcast. You got a beautiful wife. You got a beautiful family. Look at your life. You're not celebrating for you. You're going back and celebrating for him because that 16-year-old, that 15-year-old, that 18-year-old is still steering the ship. And you're wondering why you're making childlike decisions or you don't have any emotions because you haven't gone back and talked to him yet. You haven't had a conversation. He's not healed. So what made your wife such a safe space for you then to where you could tell these men not get like you, but find a safe space to where you guys are safe partners for each other? Because how long have you guys been together?
Oh my God.
And through a lot. If we question it, we figure out that that's my mother's voice, that's my grandparents' voice, that's my teachers, that's somebody who told me I wasn't worth anything. Figure out whose voice that is.
And do I want to
turn the volume up or turn the volume down. And then figure out your voice, because a lot of us don't even know what our voice sounds like, because our inner voice is somebody who's disapproving, and it's the things that we're telling ourselves, and that's not even your original voice, because you wouldn't talk to yourself like that.
People are voiceless.
You are voiceless. Take yourself off mute. You are on mute.
Microphone.
Oh yeah, Monique and I've been knowing her. I was 13, she was 12. We've been together a long time.
You knew right away.
That's a long life, love story.
Yeah, we've been together a long time. Went to junior high together, went to high school. And obviously, you have your childhood issues and you're immature and what have you, but somehow, some way, God sustained us, our union in it, and we've been able to do some extraordinary things together. But what I would say for us, it honestly was us being able to dream together,
I like that.
and most importantly, praying together. Right? We are prayer warriors, and we've always been that way. And I think we wanted more together, right? We saw how our parents struggle. I grew up single parent household, was raised by my father. My wife, she's practically raised by her mom, and her dad, God rest his soul, recently passed away.
Oh, sorry.
He had his issues with substance abuse for so long. So he was there, but kind of not, because he was distracted. And so for us,
he was suffering. And he didn't know how to help himself.
Absolutely. And it was a disease, and there's so many deal with to this day based upon whatever had they endured, since as a child that was suppressed and whatever that was. But for us, we just wanted more. We just, I remember times we would drive around nice neighborhoods and we would see these homes and we'll get out the car and say, wow, because we didn't have that.
Yeah.
But what we're seeing was possible. And it's like, if they were able to do it, why can't we? So that was the mindset we had to
But do you
gather.
see, there was a part of you that believed that. There was a part of you that wanted that.
Yeah.
And there was a part of you that committed to that. When you ask, like, how do people, there has to be something within you.
There's an
anchor that says, I want, because it was the same for me. I left Poland at 19. I looked around and I said, I don't know what I will do in this country. Love my country.
And that right there, what you just articulated, is, I believe, one of the most valuable blessings that God gives us, the ability to truly walk in faith and power and believe. Believe and speak things that are not as though they were. I can speak to my future. And so when you
not having it yet.
Now you speak in my language.
Yes.
So like when you are able to speak to whatever it is you desire, and you embrace the blessing of the process, and understanding that your promise will come on the other side of the process. And you see the full manifestations of what you believed happen, God gets his glory. And what happens is this, and I told you this earlier, how, your name is great. God has blessed you, but he's requiring you to be of a blessing to others. And so now when people see you where you are, and they see me and all of us, and how we're able to affirm and speak to things and believe The idea is for you to see this so that you can believe. The idea is for you to see this so that you can now unlearn that language, right? But so many people, they're still stuck because I see it, I hear what you're saying, but you're not listening. You're not receiving.
I can't receive because I don't feel safe.
Well,
and when I'm not
yeah.
safe, I'm being blocked. I can be in constriction or I can be in expansion. So what is the state you are living in? And a lot of people are, it's
But here's the thing
correct.
though, while you continue to contemplate these lies, right? Because the devil is a liar, and the lies, the thoughts that are coming through your mind, not only are you hurting yourself, but if you're a dad, you're hurting your children.
You're passing
children's children. So
yeah.
that generational suppression continues because you won't stop. Right? You won't break the chain.
You backed up, you're emotionally constipated for a lot of that too.
Yeah.
And it's about your inner voice. So I went to go visit my friend in New York, and others they say, talk to me nice. Everybody said, talk to me nice. Do you talk to yourself nice?
Yeah.
What is the thing that you're telling yourself every single day inwardly? What am I saying? When no one's around, how do I speak to me? So you're talking about changing and how to do certain things and how not to look at all this. I'm like, oh, well, they got all these. I grew up hard. You grew up hard. You grew up hard. I grew up. My dad is still abusing things.
Wow.
And he to this day, I can go, he lives next to Skid Row. I can go to Skid Row and see that's a bad decision. I can show my daughter, that's a bad decision, princess. We can love him to death, but he is suffering and will not ask for anything. But it's just a way of going, okay, you can do it that way. You can suffer. You can crawl on your stomach and break glass in case of emergency. But it's whatever he's telling himself internally, the story.
Yeah.
Because within a storm, you can have somebody step off a boat and just say, calm, or you can listen to the storm. Wow. You can listen to the storm. It can control you. Or you can say, you know what? I need to change my inner works. I need to change what I say to me in the mirror and by myself.
Wow.
Because that's how I become a safe person who then creates a safe space and has a safe partnership and has safe kids. It all trickles down. And that's why we are all doing the work that we're doing.
Right.
Because it's not just us. It seems so woo-woo to be like, I heal you. But you heal your wife. Your wife heals your kids. Your kids heal their friends. Their friends heal the neighborhood. The neighborhood's healed. The state is healed. The country's healed. It sounds crazy, but the more healed people that are all walking around, the easier it becomes. And that's not saying we're perfect. I've messed up a lot of times. I'm in the relationship now because I stopped and said, none of that is working.
Yes.
This is what's working. And I was able to be blessed with my partner the way that she is now, to where she goes, yeah, I know all these things. I know this, fix this, don't do that. And now I feel like I earned her. Like I unlocked a hidden character in a video game to where I gained enough experience to where I went, oh, I got the healer now.
But
that's
you were wise enough to listen also to her.
It took some time. It was break glass in case of emergency. I had some serious things happen to where I went, wait a minute. I need to change things up. Because I had my daughter by myself for a long time.
Okay.
And then I was able to earn my spouse and say, oh, because I'm a better me, I gained somebody that I'm not vibrating on a very low level with. Not that anybody else with was on low level, but there's places where I drove around. I did things. I wanted to be up here. She was already up here. And I was like, oh, I couldn't even see you because it's the red stop sign things.
Correct.
Like if you only focus on the red stop sign, that's all you're going to see. I didn't even focus on future me. I didn't know who he was, just like the work you're saying. I now talk to him. I go visit him. What is he doing? Okay, he doesn't care about these things. That's how I get to a higher level. Focus on future you and live for the future. Don't live for the present, because that's an idea. You're present right now. This is something we already thought of. So this is already in the past.
Wow.
Future me is saying, this is what we're doing. This is how we get there. This is how we get on an amazing podcast. Do these things. Walk in this way. This is the path. Walk in it. We've already been taught that, so let's continue to do
That's
it.
That's powerful, man. Look, imagine this, right? And for me, I think I try to keep this life as simple as possible. I try to minimize my stresses, right? Because I've learned when I just walk in faith and walk in power and have my time individual with Christ and I'm receiving things. And the question is, if I was to ask a Black man in particular. And the question is, if you were able to live a life in terms of the language of pain where that no longer existed, would you accept that?
Well, first you need to feel I'm deserving of it.
There you go.
And by the way,
you go deep.
we always go deep. We don't go
man.
wide. We go
shallow.
deep. We don't go wide. But by the way, I want to give you your flowers, because as someone who grew up in I lost my dad, so I didn't have a father figure. I mean, there was a man my mom married later, but he was unfortunately no father figure for me.
Okay.
I'm so happy your daughter gets to experience that.
Thank
Because I think we forget so often when we get hurt in a process and we
Yeah.
say, my mom was like this. Nobody helps me raise my daughter. I will do it myself. I understand where she came from, but I needed a father.
Yeah.
So flowers to you.
Thank you.
I think it's really important. It's really because now I understand what the role of a man is in a household.
Wow.
I didn't have that. And I have
Wow.
2 boys. So guess what? Now I'm blessed with so many men
Wow.
in my household. And I realized when our older son, I think he turned 11, 12, I looked at my husband, and I have incredible husband, always very involved. But I understood the moment of, wow, he's becoming a man. I have no idea how to be a man.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm a
Right.
woman, and I want to stay a woman. So I teach my kids what they need from me, and of course we both support, but I cannot teach them how to be a man completely. I can teach them a lot of great things like emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
But I looked at my husband and I said, now I so much understand, like deeply understand the role of a healthy man in the household. Because I cannot be the one taking them over the line to manhood right now. I would be missing. I would create gaps, or I would have to involve other men. That's why I say, like, involve men that you know that can fill in the gaps if you are a single parent,
Yeah.
because you can't provide for both. So
That was a great question, especially as a Black man. Like it's tough, phenomenal answer,
Yeah.
by the way, to literally piggyback on
Yeah.
top of that, not necessarily knowing that we deserve it,
Yeah.
but knowing that it's okay to be the first. It's okay to be the first one to take those steps on uncharted land, to say, you know what? I didn't have anything modeled after me. My father was Uncle Phil on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So
Yeah.
when he died, I cried so hard. That's like, there's only a few celebrities I cried for. Like
It's
Uncle
representation.
Phil, Robin
Wow.
Williams, and Nipsey Hussle. And I'm just like, wow, who do I look up to now? So I was chasing him the entire time until I became Uncle Phil.
Wow.
I thought I needed him, but I accepted the fact that, oh, this is the man that I've always been. So for us, if it's not modeled in front of us, if nothing is there for us, it's a hard language to have when we don't know the words. As we're looking at something in a different language, you go, I don't know that, so I'm going to go back to what I know and to what is safe to me. You might
and what
not
I'm
like
fluent
it.
in.
Yeah,
I'm fluent
I
in
know this
survival.
language.
This is great.
And we're not thriving. If I'm fluent in survival,
Yeah.
you're constantly in survival mode. Your body only knows survival. So just like you were saying, if I'm like this the entire time, I have no clue half the time that I'm like this, especially being a Black man in America. I have to cut off pieces of myself just to walk into a room and make you feel safe and make you feel safe. I'm 6'5". I'm a Marine. I can be intimidating if I want to.
Yeah.
America has taught me, like, hey, you're dangerous, you're this, you're that, all these things as a Black man in America. But to know that I deserve it, it takes a long time to learn that language. It's probably one of the hardest languages to learn for us is emotional intelligence. And that's why I teach it. And vulnerability, because that's 2 things we don't want.
So let me touch on that for a moment. And you all, and I'm just sitting here listening. You're talking my language, because I believe that a man's vulnerability becomes a path to his victory. And you talked about, and you mentioned something like of being that one, being that guy. And the reality is, we are as individuals, right? You are her, you are him, I am him, I am that guy. Like I am, like, you know, and as a matter of fact, Dion, I love Dion, what he does with his sons and so on and so forth. But he'll state, he is that guy, and I'm expecting him to show up as that guy. Right? You are him. And so when you mention, like, be that one, and if I was asked an individual question, because you mentioned, well, they may not feel like they deserve. Right? And I'll say, why don't you feel like you don't deserve? Because you are him. There is no other you. You can't be duplicated, replicated. You are him. Your children, your son and daughters, they're counting on you. There is someone in this life, or many that are assigned to you.
Yes.
But you won't say yes to you. I need to understand why you feel like you don't deserve to change your language.
I have enough evidence that I'm not deserving. I have decades of evidence that I'm not deserving, starting with my parents. So if you say my parents didn't think I'm deserving, where am I supposed to receive that messaging from? Yes, you can receive it from faith. You can receive it. That's why I believe in mentorship. And even though we say we can change people, I think conversations like this can impact people, can touch somebody deeply. And this will be the moment for them, not a threat of divorce. I believe that because that happened for me, right? But I'm looking for evidence. Your brain is machine looking for evidence. Your body remembers, right? We say body remembers before even the mental. So if I've noticed decades of I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy, right? Something needs to shift me, something like you say with your wife. You came together for a reason. So you can be here on this podcast talking about this. There's so many other reasons, right? But there was somebody who was with you in this. We just need one person sometimes.
I want to speak to something that's extremely important for you that Ludmila Woodruff just articulated about you feeling worthy, about you feeling that you're not enough and that you're not capable, or your parents or someone in your family or someone close to you may have told you you will not be. But allow me to remind you that you are more than enough. You are capable. You were called. God created you. You are individual of his image. You are enough. I need you to receive what I'm articulating, because a righteous man steps are ordered by the Lord. You are called, my brother. Your children are counting on you, my brother. Enough's enough. I encourage you to change your language. And I wanted to speak to the fellas because that's the struggle.
Yeah.
That's the reality, because someone that they love, someone that was their mentor, their mom or dad, told them what they wouldn't be, or a cousin or a niece or aunt, whatever it was. But listen, listen, if God be for me, what can be against me?
Let's say that.
What can be against me, right? You can say these things, but I'm going to focus on him by faith. But I hear what you're saying. It's difficult, but no, it's not difficult.
Decision.
Right?
It's a decision.
You have to make a decision, right?
Yeah. And one of the exercises that I give to my clients is mirror work. Yes, and they find
it's called mirror
work, but we go really deep because we speak to what was unseen within you. If you never felt you are smart, you need to look at yourself in a mirror and say,
I'm smart.
You are so smart. You are the most brilliant person.
The Bible says, let the weak say that I'm strong.
And
mirror work.
And when you hold that gaze with yourself, because when we talked about vulnerability, how comfortable are you with looking yourself in the eye? Because I can only be as vulnerable with you as I am with myself. So I have to face that's why I need to look in my own eyes, in the mirror.
But I'm faking it until I make it.
Oh, I hate that so much.
I'm faking it until I make it.
No, it never works.
Yeah,
it never works.
I got it. Look, we're going to switch that around. No more faking it till you
No,
make it.
we're not faking anything.
Be it until you see it.
Correct.
Or faith it. Don't fake it till you make it. Faith it until you make it.
Well, how about work it till you make it?
Yeah, walking in faith
work it.
is what got you here, is what got all of us here. In the mirror technique, I do the same things. And I ask people, I ask men and women, how long can you stare at yourself in the mirror without looking away? Is it 1 second? Is it 2 seconds? Is it 3 seconds? What are you scared of? Are you scared of you? Oh, well, then we have to do a lot of work to do.
Correct.
Because you can't even look at yourself. Then you also, I make them write a letter with their left hand as young you.
Yeah.
And then respond as grown-up you, as you're right. So you can see, I've had my younger self cuss me out. You left me. You forgot about me. You don't care about the things that I care about.
Wow.
Remember when we were getting beat. Remember these things when we were locked in. Remember we got made fun of for all these things. You act like these things don't happen anymore. Talk to me. Or I'm going to keep wilding out. There's an emotional bust that
you're ignoring him.
Wow.
There's an emotional bust that we all have. Some of us have a Sprinter. Some of us have a double-decker bus. And it's like, who's driving the bus? Who's on the bus? Who's telling you to make stops? Because my bus, my Byron bus, only makes Byron stops. Your bus only makes your stops.
Yeah.
But other people are sitting in your bus telling you when to get off. You can't jump on any bus and say, make a left and make a right. Hey, we have a route. We have a destination.
Yeah.
If you're not okay with that, get off the bus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And until we realize that and look in the mirror and go, these are the things that are happening in my life. This is what needs to happen.
Yeah.
Make that decision. Shrink your bus. I have a Sprinter now. There's only a few people on there, and it only makes my stops unless my wife is like, turn left. And
And you listen. You are wise enough to listen.
So, you weren't going there, baby, but okay. In order to figure out who's driving the bus, because a lot of people, their bus driver is fear. It's not even a person. It's just fear or sadness or what if. I touched the stove back in 1995 and every single stove is going to be hot. That stove's not even on.
But I keep
Actually,
touching it too. So it's like, what are we doing?
So how do I stop these things? How do I integrate this new me into the bus? How do I shrink the bus? It is acknowledging it. It is knowing where you want to go. Where's your destination? You are a ship at sea with nothing on there. There's no captain. There's no steering wheel. There's nothing. How do I make sure I'm
let me share this. There's a conversation, a campaign that I'm actually going to be launching soon. It's a conversation. It's a Black man's conversation with thyself, and it's a conversation to where, Byron, you're gonna stand up 6'5", 6'5" tall Marine Byron, and you're gonna look to your left. You're gonna look to your left, and first and foremost, you're gonna give yourself grace. You're gonna look to your left. You're gonna look in the mirror and examine and reflect childhood and think about what was and whatever you've gone through and try, whatever that was, and you're gonna give those situations grace. You're gonna thank that situation, even if it was painful, but that was your yesterday.
Yes.
Because the reality is, you still have what the greatest gift, which is life. You're breathing today in your current self.
Yes.
And so your current self does not deserve, right, what you've been through. Because your past situation does not determine your final destination.
Yes.
Right? So we have to make a decision in this conversation with ourselves, because now we're going to do what? Turn to the right. Once we acknowledge what was and we let go and let God have that, now we're in our current. Now we're charged. Now we're on fire, because guess what? The future you is smiling. He's rejoicing, because you're going to do what? You're going to speak to things that are not, that as though they were your future self, right? To your right. We're no longer living in our yesterday.
No.
Okay. And so now in my current, there are things I have to do. The prerequisites. This is a new me. My language is shifting. I am deserving. I am capable. So the point is that this is where we got to get to, right? To shift those thoughts, to eliminate that 70% statistic, because those thoughts have no place here, right? We have to bind the works of the enemy. He has no place here, and that's, and it seems so simple, but it's so difficult and so hard for many. And it's almost this: aren't you sick and tired? Aren't you tired? Isn't enough enough?
You get comfortable in chaos.
But exactly, I know my discomfort right now. I don't know what it feels like when I decide to change. That will require more energy. That will require more effort.
No, you know
your primitive brain. Your primitive brain doesn't want
this
you,
is to hurt you.
to
I know
do
what
this.
The hurt me looks like.
No.
The healed me is scary. I don't know who that person is.
Wow.
I live with hurt me
feels.
every single day.
Yeah.
I'm so scared of healed me that I will stay here in comfort because I know what I know.
Yeah, it's the devil you know. That's so much better than the promise of what can be better.
Because everyone thinks it's scary. It's not scary to heal.
It's uncomfortable. It's just
the first step, just like anything else, is very uncomfortable, because I'm comfortable with chaos. I'm comfortable knowing all these things.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable in the unknown.
I'm comfortable being a victim.
Oh, that's true too.
And also, when we talk about the mental and you talked about body, you need to be able to release all the pressure and emotional stress from your body. So I think you do this as well. I take my clients through a somatic experiencing as well with parts work. So I do, internal family system. I combine it with attachment and also with somatic work. So we close our eyes and we go inward into the body. And when client comes to me and says, I have stomach pain, I have throat pain, something is on my chest heavy, on my head, we literally find meaning in those parts of your body, right? What is the message from that stomach ache? What is this really, okay, it's an anxiety. Okay, anxiety is an emotion. What's the sensation? Oh, it's heaviness or tightness or something else, right? Yeah. Okay, what's the message of that in your body? And there is always a message, and I cannot predict what it is because you have to be so in tune with yourself. I ask the question, I guide them, and things come out of their mouth that they didn't even expect. So for example, I had a client and he comes to me and he says, I have a lot of pain in my stomach and my head, something's wrong, I need to see a doctor. And then we go on a journey, and then we find out this person has a stepson. The stepson is being difficult teenager, and it's causing issues in their marriage. And then we discover that this person was a difficult teenager and caused problems.
Wow.
It's passed down.
Correct.
Wow,
so now I'm not only the troubled teenager I see in the stepson, I'm also the person who will be left.
Yeah. Wow.
Because right? So it's this what's
the adult,
correct,
the
and and the wife triggers this, and I'm like, oh, so you are living through two stories. And then I say, why do we have so much headache? Like, where is your step-parent? Oh, they passed away. And I'm like, oh, now we are wondering. You are worrying that you are going to pass away. There is so much emotional that we carry in our body as sensations. Yeah. The anxiety, yes, it's mental, but it's also somatic. It's also memory. We can literally, when we talk about integration, name it, experience it, be with it. You cry through it, you talk to it, you release it, you hold space for it. Because nobody else was holding space for that part of you that was scared or angry. So the more you can stay with the discomfort in your body and witness and feel through it, it starts to transform within your body. It starts to merge into something different. I had a client yesterday. She went from pain in the stomach, where she felt I can never have pleasure because I'm responsible for my whole family, to then that transforming to bright unicorns within her, within 20 minutes, right? So
it's a
integration is it is a lot of work. It's uncomfortable.
You do somatic, mine I do neuro-linguistics programming, which is similar to that with breathing and everything like that. So you're having them sit and find a safe space.
Yeah.
So even no matter where you are, find a safe space, whatever is the safest space that you've ever felt. Christmas Day, with your grandparents, with anywhere that you felt safe.
Wow.
And if you don't have one, then let's create one right now.
Wow.
So as you're creating the space, you give yourself room. And the reason why people can't change or they refuse to change or they're holding on to this pain saying I'm comfortable with it is because your anchor, you have an emotional anchor that is not attached to future you. There's nothing there. But it's so much emotion trapped in your body and with that past you that you're just bringing them along everywhere you go. And you're just like, hey, come on, come with me. But if you sit and release that and have a new emotional attachment to future you. There was an emotional attachment that you and your wife created together to be in this life right now. You could manifest all you want. It does not work unless you add an emotional attachment and 100%. Anger. Your why is weak because there's no emotion attached to it. Right. You have nothing attached to it. If your why is money, it's going to fail.
Do you want to be a hostage of other people's inability to manage themselves? No, thank you.
Because there's a lot of that walking around.
Unsubscribe, yes.
Click unsubscribe to being a hostage, 100%. Nobody wants that.
So let me ask this, man, because I believe in this life where there's no risk, there's no story.
Yes.
And as I think about you, brother, coming from where you come from, and you kind of articulated brief about your dad and things you may have seen growing up, and I can imagine how you are now. You weren't then.
No.
And I want the audience to understand briefly that, because you, at some point, you made a decision, right? And whatever that was, and a decision to tap into the space of what you're doing now, to where you're reaching back, you're teaching one, and showing one from experiences that you endured. But the Bible says that one shall overcome by one's testimony. And so in the story, and it's something unique, and I think shall resonate with many, because what you were then did not define who you are now.
Yeah. Thank God.
Thank God.
And thank God I don't look like what I've been through, because it would be all over me. I think growing up, nobody talks like this. For anybody, I'm going to age myself right now. I was Bryant Gumbel, and I was the nerdy black dude who talked Caucasianly. And nobody in my family talks like this. They either Chicago or they super LA.
Oh yeah, they hood.
Super hood. And they can crack anytime. But I'm the only person that is doing what I'm doing. I'm the only person that went into the Marine Corps. I'm the only person that has multiple degrees and things like that. And that's not saying anything bad about my family. That's just to say the environment that I grew up in was not conducive to who I am now. I thank God for TGI Friday. I saw the Cosbys. I saw Uncle Phil. I saw Family Matters. And I said, oh, it's a possibility. Because like you said, I can't be what I can't see. And I'm looking at my environment. I'm like, this ain't me. And there's something I felt. And a lot of us feel like I need to go do something else. I feel like it's in me. But you have to get those people around you. You have to, I got saved through books. And Uncle Phil, I read so many books. I read the encyclopedia just because I wanted to see something different. I fell in love with Japan, which is my favorite place to travel because of books, because of comic books, because of anime. It freed my mind up to where I can go visit those places mentally before I got to them physically. I cried 3 times when I went to Japan, not just because it's a beautiful, amazing place, but it was 12-year-old me saying that your dad told you was nothing, bro. There's a lot of things that told you, and those voices told you as a man, you're not going to be able to do here. Be okay with getting a job, having kids, do your thing, which is fine. But for me and my spirit, I knew I needed more. I was always different. But to accept it later on in life and stop making the same exact mistakes. I made so many mistakes trying to create the Cosbys, trying to create Uncle Phil. And a lot of black men was like, you guys got 9, 10, 12, 15 kids because you're trying to feel something. You're trying to create something. And my worth is attached to monetary things. My worth is attached to if I got the newest fashion. My worth is attached to how well of a provider am I, how well of a protector am I. But I have no clue who I am, and you're performing. And no one has ever yelled cut in your life. I had gotten to a point where God yelled cut, and I'm going to break everything from you. He will break the sheep's leg that keeps leaving out. He broke both my legs and my arms, and I was like, I don't want to be broken anymore. I hear you. I understand. So from here on out, everything I got, because he broke me all the way down to the bottom. And it's just me and my daughter. We're riding the bus. I don't have a car. I had to figure everything out before I even got with my wife right now. Like I had to figure everything out and be super broken because I had enough ego to say, I'm running this. I got this. I'm super smart. I'm a salesman. God was like, no, that's not the woman you're supposed to be with. No. And I'm like, dang, God, why not? I got all these things. It's like, I lined you up. You are a vessel, just kind of like you were saying to us. You have purpose. Your purpose isn't acting. It's not the Marine Corps. It's not being a salesperson. Your purpose is to lead people to me. And this is how you're going to do it. These are the sneaky sermons that you're going to sneak in there because you are a keynote speaker. Now you're an author. It's all the things that God said, you're going to do this, or you can go do those other things and see how that worked out for you. So I got sick of my legs being broken. And I said, you know what? I'm going to follow the path that you keep whispering in my ear at night. There's something that's tapping my shoulder. I'm like, okay, I'll get back to you. Like, okay, fine. What do you want? And it's this. It's us. It's literally us going, I got a great idea. And God's like, yeah. Bigger. Because we can only see right here. And God, he grabs you by the shoulder and makes you step back and he goes, look at everything I have for you. Oh, I was just looking at this beautiful flower right here. Yeah. There's an entire forest. If you would only step back and listen to me. So it took me from all of those things, watching my father do drugs and just experiencing things in life that weren't what I had visioned for myself, to where the older I got, I was still performing. I was still taking care of people. 4 Christmases ago, I'm gonna be transparent, 4 Christmases ago, I found drugs in my father's house as my daughter and my mother are in the front room. And I'm just like, how do I react to this? That was a changing moment for me. Because I wanted to be violent. Because
a trigger.
It was such a trigger because I was the one who found, you make me say all this stuff. I was the one who found the drugs when I was 18 and it was his. And then there's drug dealers. He doesn't even remember these situations. There's drug dealers I had to pay to get my father's clothes back in the snow in Colorado. They're pushing him out the house, holding guns at me, holding guns at everyone. Like, okay, I got to figure this out. I'll be right back. And I had to do all these things to save his life. And then fast forward, it happened a few more times where he moved in with me. There's things that happened. when I found it as an adult, and I'm finally allowing him to be in my life because he's not safe. He hurts me every time. So it's not anger. A lot of us think it's anger. It's not anger. It's disappointment. He hurts me every time he's around me. And I saw him doing the same thing with my daughter. My daughter loves him, but she doesn't know. She knows now. She didn't know at the time all the things that he has put me through in our family. So it wasn't even for me. It was for my daughter. I looked at her and I said, oh, you're not going to do this to her too.
Wow.
I was about to say that fatherhood changed you too. I'm 100% sure.
Even when I got her.
Because now you have somebody else than yourself.
And I look at her and I'm like, oh, I got to be better, not just for me, but for you. And it was
because
way too much
you
going on.
You could have been still taking it if you were by yourself.
Exactly.
I say parenthood changes as the same was for me. Like that's why I fought.
Especially because there's a little girl too. So I'm like, oh, I got to make better decisions. I got to make sure she sees better. I have to be better. Okay, cool. We got to start all the way from ground zero and go up. And it's been phenomenal ever since. And I've been teaching since 2008, but I've been taking it serious ever since then, and getting more like the only reason why I went for psychotherapy was because of my daughter. To be better, to have a better conversation.
I say parenthood is life change, marriage.
So what's
by the way, you decided you were ready to walk. That's why you changed.
Absolutely, and I'll say, man, and thank you for sharing that, because
that was a lot.
But thank you for sharing that, because that will touch someone, and that's why I created this show. Because it's exposure, and when they see someone speak to their yesterday, but look at me now, and they're becoming a illustration of my situation then isn't who I am now, what I've become, and that, my brother, is what this show was all about. And I think Ludmila and Byron, we unlocked the code, the vulnerability. Of intimacy. This was intimate. This was a safe space.
It was very intimate.
And I appreciate you both. And I'm grateful. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining this episode of The Blessed Code. Living by His Code is a journey full of grace, growth, and opportunities to bless others. If today's episode spoke to you, please share this powerful message, and don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and connect with us on social to stay grounded, grateful, and blessed. Until next time, keep your faith strong, your heart open, and live life you're destined for. I'm your host, Melvin Rodriguez, and you just unlocked another Blessed Code.